Hello everyone, welcome back to Bareham Engines at Gone 5. Been a bit of a nightmare day for me, mate.
It has, you've not had the best day.
Only got in about an hour ago, not even
Roughly.
that. Kids are not very well, got the sickness bug. So I've had to have one today and I'm doing the late shift at work. Got a few things to do on the Kitcar before Saturday, providing I ain't got the icks, which, fingers crossed.
It's definitely a possibility, isn't it?
It is a possibility, mate. So, a few things to do from the last track day on the Kitcar. Firstly, before we went last time, one thing we did do was put a new clutch in it.
Yep.
So it was uprated springs, just to get a bit of extra pressure onto the plates, and uprated plates, friction plates, and steel plates, basically. So, yeah, it was an uprated clutch kit. Only thing I did notice, we had to do a couple of little changes when we were there. One being the rod. We had to shorten the rod, didn't we? So that's the rod that actuates from the other side of the engine and pushes the clutch open.
Yeah.
So obviously it was all a bit test day-ish.
It's like a hydraulic with a rod to actually actuate the clutch.
It is, yeah, but because we've had to space, we're using the original slave cylinder, but because we had to space it out about an inch,
right,
we then had to extend the rod.
Okay.
But so it was a bit of an unknown.
So that's this little housing in here.
That's the one there.
Up there.
So it was a bit of an unknown how much we had to lengthen the rod, mate.
Yeah.
But the clutch we did find, once it had all settled and bedded in, was slipping a little bit.
And your pedal was quite high, wasn't it?
Pedal was very high, yeah. And we did notice there was a little bit of clattering. So what we've done is took the clutch cover off, we'll show you in a minute, and took the clutch pack out, measured it and seen what's going on. But while I'm sitting in the car, mate, halfway up the ramp, is another thing that I've done. Bought one of these shifter sort of extensions, really. So this is an adapter that fits onto the original shifter, and it brings it out about 1.5 inches, which is good because our hand we was finding was a bit too far forward.
Well, it's since we put that plate in for the AccuSump gauge, it sort of found it was a little bit of a clearance issue.
That's right, yeah.
With your hand.
So I could sort of do with it being a little bit closer and a little bit over more towards the wheel, really. So we bought this little gadget, mate, which allows us to sort of do that.
Yeah.
And I notice
different heights and everything as well.
Yeah, it fits straight onto the original stick, which is good. And then what we've got to do is, with a little bit of engineering, you've got this shaft here that slides in there, which is held on by 2 sort of grub screws. And then I ordered a gear knob.
Very nice.
Very nice. And what I've got to do is machine the correct thread onto here and sort of have it where we want it.
Yeah.
And that just makes
higher, lower, left, right, whatever.
So it just brings it a little bit further back, just a little bit less sort of over there. So yeah, bit of modding to do on that, mate, which is good, but at least it fits on there. So we'll get the car in the air, mate, and show them exactly what we do. Oh shit! Oh dear! Our poor hips. So what I thought I was going to have to do is take that slave cylinder off, which is a bit of a ball ache, to be honest, to get the rod out, to shorten it. But it's still, I was a bit worried because it's still going to be a trial and error as to how long we need it. But I think we figured out exactly how much we need to take off it. So we've got the clutch pack out. So this is the original.
So that's the one we changed out.
That's it, yeah. So we've got 7 friction plates and 6 steel plates, and on this one we have the same, but you can see where they've browned off there, mate.
Yeah, that almost looks like the old one, really.
It looks it looks worse than the bloody old one, doesn't it? So it's definitely been slipping. Measured the pack compared to the original. The original is 39mm. You see this one's down about 0.8. So it's definitely thinner. Whether that's anything to do with it slipping and wearing, I do not know.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know whether you know how these bike clutches work, but obviously you've got the slave cylinder on the other side of the engine, which is actuated on a push action with the clutch pedal. And then there is a rod that goes straight the way through into the centre of the clutch. There's a bearing in this here.
So
and that there, you've
locates
got,
on there, is it?
So that locates on there. You've got this little T-piece that sort of sits, see the rod there, we'll show you in a minute. So this locates in here. And this, you've got your springs that go in here, and it's the springs that determine the pressure on the whole clutch pack.
Right.
And that's what drives the gearbox.
Yeah.
So the rod that goes down there, we did find, look, this needs to be sitting flush back on that lip with the back there. And that is as far back as it goes, mate. And you can see we're about 3 or 4 mil there.
Yeah. Which ain't ideal. So
Not ideal.
Definitely some needs to come off, doesn't it?
Yeah, so what's been happening is it's been putting some pressure on this and opening it up. It just takes pressure off the clutch plates, thus slipping, mate. So the good thing is, from this side here, we know exactly how much we need to take off that rod. So I think what I'm going to do, mate, is I'm going to use the original clutch pack. The only reason I changed the clutch was just to see if that was something to do with the immediate clutch pedal I had.
It was very on and off, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think what it was is because the universal slave cylinder that we were using was just a wrong ratio for a bike.
Yeah.
And it was distinctly on and off. But now,
Yeah, like really, I mean, considering that should be an old one, it doesn't look too bad at all.
no, it's good as gold. And this engine hadn't done much miles, and it certainly hadn't been in a car.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it should be absolutely fine, and I'm going to keep the tougher springs on there.
I mean,
anyway.
you're only reusing that because you've got a track day at the weekend and not a lot of time to get another one together.
No, that's it. I shall put the original clutch pack in with the uprated springs, mate, and see what happens really. But I'm pretty convinced that was the reason.
Yeah.
Everything else feels okay. There is a little bit of plate in the clutch basket, tiny bit, with the dowels that hold it onto the back. But I think that's pretty normal, to be honest with you. It's a fairly low mileage engine.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it all runs all right and feels all right. It's just that it did start slipping, didn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So that is what I'm going to. Oh, hello.
Lights out of battery, mate.
Got a bit of a disco going on here. I've ordered another gasket. I wanted to get this done earlier on in the week, so if I had to order anything in the clutch, like a new basket or anything, I could get it done this week, hopefully. If not, I'll be going around in the Escort again.
Well, at least you've got backup.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Right, guys, so first of all, before I go any further, the gear knob that we got for the Kitcar was from a company called RHD. So it's RHD Performance there, and in with it come a lovely little note, look, from Thierry, who is the director of the company, saying, love the channel, mate, more Honda engines needed, I think. Maybe some K-Series. They don't call it God's motor for nothing. So thank you very much indeed, Thierry. Really appreciate that little note, mate, and excellent product. Can't wait to see it on the car. Before we go and try the clutch, guys, this is the rod that we made. So this is the original rod. And what we've done, there was an insert in the end. We took the insert out, and we've used a bit of threaded bar. The only reason we did that is because it was the only thing we had at the time, but it's perfectly ample, does the job. So we'll leave that, and that is threaded into the end. So what I've done is took off 5 mil off the end, and I've noticed now when we push it back into the engine, I do apologise, guys, that it's, you see there, look, so what we do, that goes in the end, push back as far as we can go, like that. And now what I do is get this little insert and put that into the hole, push it right back, and now we can see, if I just quickly get a torch, because the other one is packed up. Can't get any bloody torches round here. So there we go, guys, got a light now. Not the best of lights, but it's a light nonetheless. So now, you can see with that insert in there, that sits flush back, 5 mil further back than it was anyway, and I'm sure that is probably how it should go. So now, what I'm going to do is put the original clutch kit back in, followed by that plate there with the uprated springs. I'm going to pop the cover back on with its new gasket and see exactly what happens with the clutch. Fingers crossed, eh? Well, guys, that didn't quite go to plan. So I put all the clutch assembly back together, took 5mm off the rod, got no clutch pedal, basically, it's rock solid. So I've measured the springs, obviously I've put the standard clutch pack in, which is about 0.8 of a mil thicker. So in effect, we should have 0.8 of a mil extra sort of give on the springs. But when I've measured the springs shut and open, it looks like the springs are actually almost bottoming out. So at the minute, it's sort of 7:20 at night. I'm scratching my head a little bit with it. So in the morning, I'm going to get Stuart over here, get him to cast his eye over it and see if we can figure out what's going on. Not sure whether it's something to do with the springs. He's got the original springs, so I can't check them at the moment. But it's a work in progress, and I'm sure we'll get it working. I don't quite know what's happened there. But anyway, guys, I do think that rod was a bit long. Sorted out the gear shifter now, look. So we've got a nice ball type gear knob. So you can see I've brought it over about an inch towards me, an inch further back, and I can lift this up and down wherever I want it. So that's a lot more handy, and it looks trick as hell anyway. So that is about it, guys. Apart from the clutch issue, we're nearly there with it. All I've got to do then is remove the flange for the prop shaft that goes onto the engine. Just machine the back of it so I can get a nut on there, just belt and braces so I know that those bolts aren't going to undo. And then hopefully we can get it all done by the weekend and I can go out and test it and enjoy it and get good news back to you on Monday. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Until tomorrow's video, maybe, or the day after, who knows? That's if I don't get the stomach bug. Have a great evening, and I will see you when I see you. Cheers, guys.